Hello, 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 everybody, everybody. What's cracking? What's up? What's going on? How is everybody doing? Guys, people of the sea, people of everywhere. Paco's cremation story. Life has its ways. This is like a good story. I want to start off by saying I am completely sick. So if you hear me coughing and sneezing, that's me. Yeah, I am genuinely sick. I got sick not so long after. It's been like a couple of days. So I'll be clearing my throat and my throat will get scratchy. But this is something I want to share on the internet, and something I want to share too because this is a very crazy story. Now, when I tell you life has its ways, life has its ways, guys. I can believe 1,000%. Give me a sec. Let me go put some Vicks on my nose because I'm over here drying up. All right. I just got through taking a shower too. Hello, hello, welcome in. All right. So, for those who don't know, Paku is my bird. Paku just recently passed away, and he passed away um, because his beak got stuck on the branch that he sits on. And hold on, give me a sec. I don't know what these people are doing. What they doing? I think they're trying to capture the cat. Hello, hello, welcome in. Thank you for liking. What are they doing? You're distracting me. I think she's selling something, so she might knock on my door. I think this lady's selling something. Okay, so sorry, I'm over here looking at the neighbors because they're being weird. But yeah, Paku passed away because his beak got stuck on the branch that he sits on, and it was cold. It was a cold day. I did wrap him in a cover, but apparently the cover wasn't good enough. There was a lot of factors playing behind his cause of death, such as his weight, his loss of feathers, and it being cold. Like there's a lot of factors. So with it being cold, kind of topped it off a lot. So apparently he lost his balance. He grabbed the branch and he tried hanging on, and he couldn't pick himself back up. I'm pretty sure because he was too cold and he didn't have enough strength because his body was getting weak. And then he just sat there. Well, he didn't sit there, but he was just dangling for about approximately 3 hours and some change. Um, and then that's when he passed away. And when I found him hanging by his beak and latched on. If you haven't watched my last video, go watch it. It's Rest in Peace Paku. That's literally the last video I just made. Um, but yeah, that's a little summary, a rundown of what happened. But again, if you still want to watch the video and whatnot and hear me crying on the internet or hear me tell my story, how the day went and stuff, you can go watch it. But other than that, I I didn't know what to do that day because, of course, uh, it was a hard freeze, and it was Sunday, and a lot of places are closed on Sundays, and a lot of places are not open on Sundays, which makes it really 10 times harder to find somewhere. So I did put him in the freezer in a box. I wrapped him around my it was a this one was memorable because it was an old jacket that I've been having for a long time that whenever I got into my car accident, I was wearing that jacket and it still had a piece of me inside of that jacket. And like, I didn't wash it. It did have a little bit of blood spatter because when I was in the accident, it took a big impact on me. So that jacket meant a lot to me. And I feel like since that little piece of me was in that jacket at that time, I felt like wrapping him in that jacket. So that jacket made me feel like I had to let him have it. And it's an Under Armour jacket, nice black sling, the design Under Armour jacket. So then after that, I put him in the freezer, and I was like, I have to call around to see where I'm gonna get him cremated because I don't want to bury him. That's the top of the line is burying. A lot of people are like, oh, it's the cheapest, easiest way. However, hello, hello, welcome in. However, I've had animals my entire life: dogs, cats, birds, you name it. I had like a whole bunch of cats, but I can't say you name it like an alligator or whatnot. But I had animals my whole entire life. So there's billions. I don't know about billions. I don't know. But I could just say hundreds of dead animals in the backyard of my grandma's house. Like literally, we could probably not pay taxes anymore there because it's literally a pet cemetery. Because if you dig a hole, you're gonna dig up an animal. So like, um, yeah, an option that simple option is not good enough, and I feel like no, that's not the way to go. So I do cremations. I like to have my animals cremated, the ones that mean the most to me. At that time, that one animal passed away. It was the last one, which is a stray cat, and he was a little mini kitten, and we buried him in the backyard. But cremation is expensive. It is expensive, but you got to remember, there's a lot of time and effort that it goes into. On humans, it's a lot of time, but on like animals and small little things, it takes a couple of hours or so, and to get them cremated. So I was all like, okay, I called one place, and well, actually, I called the city to see if they can recommend me other than Bark, because Bark is the number one thing that they work with, and they do free cremations at Bark, but it's only for the no returns. No returns, basically. No, you can't get your ashes back. So that's dumb part because, yeah. But anyways, um, after that, I called another place. It was funny. I called this cremation place because I'm just over here blindly looking at the internet, trying to figure out. Um, I called this one cremation place, and I said, "How much is it for a bird to get cremated?" And then he's like, "A bird." Sorry, guys, I gotta blow my nose. I'm sick over here. And then he's like, "A bird," and I said, "Yeah." And then he's like, "We don't cremate birds." And then I'm all like, "You don't cremate birds?" He's like, "No." I said, "Well, then what do you cremate? Cats and dogs only?" And then he's like, "Humans." And then I'm all like, "Well, the internet just brought me to y'all." And then he's all like, for some reason, Google has this great idea to represent his business as cremation, all kind of things. And then he's like, "Don't worry, we get these calls all the time." I was like, "Wow, yeah, that's pretty interesting." And so there goes that one. And then I found another one that was open. Um, I called. What did I, no? I called the 24-hour vet clinic, like literally about 2 blocks from me. And I was like, I'm curious because it's 24 hours and it's a urgent little care for dogs and cats and whatever. And it's the biggest hospital in I think, United States, I guess. Hold on. I called them. They wanted $188 and I think 47 cents. And I was like, okay, well, it gives me a bash of an idea. I wanted to go with the same company um, that I went with whenever I cremated Claire. Guys, by the way, the sun is setting. I'm in a sun setting moment, I guess. But this is the clinic, well, the cremation place I went to before when Claire, she passed away, and you can see when she passed away. But that's the clinic that I was trying, not clinic, why I keep saying clinic, the cremation place that I was trying to go to because I know where it's at, and it was a pretty decent price. And oh, I'm all over the place, but I couldn't find it on the map, and I was like, I guess they ran out of business, or they're no longer in business anymore because I can't find it for nothing. And I searched high and low, and I was like, okay, we took this back street on this street, and I still couldn't find it. So I was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know where to go, you know. So a lot of places were closed, like I said, because of the weather and because of it being Sunday. So I'm like, you know what? I give up. I'm going to look at my CCTV cameras and watch his death play out. Like I watched his CCTV cameras, the from the time he fell all the way to the time he passed away. It was truly heartbreaking, but it's something that made me peace of mind, if that makes sense. But anyways, so I just want to say that life has its ways, guys. Life has its ways. So the next day occurred, which was a Monday. I woke up. It was like around 12 something. My grandma called me, and then she told me, sorry guys, I'm sick. My grandma called me, and then she told me, I know this cremation place. Hold on, give me a second. I'm talking so much that my voice is going all over the place because I'm trying to demonstrate. Because y'all know how I am. I like to demonstrate people's voices and actions. So she called me. She's like, I know this place. I know this place that I just called, and she wants like $100. And I was all like, oh yeah. I said, send me the address and send me where to call, how to call her, because that's a good price in general. Because she told them it was a little bird, and I was like, he's not a little bird. He's a big bird. And obviously it was misleading on what kind of bird he was. But anyways, this is how what I'm telling you, life has its ways, guys. This facility, this facility is where Paku came from. Literally. My cousin is the one that worked there. That's the same clinic building that Paku has spent his entire life in. And that blew the heck out of me because I saw the clinic, the name of the clinic, and I said the street's name, and I'm just going to name the street, which is Bel Air. On Bel Air, I quickly went on Google Maps, saw the building, and I was like, there's no way. I froze because I was like, that's where Paku originally come from. And I got so excited for myself, for Paku, for everybody. Like I was so excited. So I called my grandma, but she didn't answer. So I called my cousin, which is the one that gave me the bird. And I told him, I said, Grandma found a place where I can cremate him. And then he's like, where? I said, I don't want to say guess what, but at your old clinic. And then he's all like, what do you mean? And I said, yes, it's running. It's back open. And then he's all like, over there? So they must have opened back up. They must have some new person opened the building. And mind you, this building went through a lot. Like It needed the building needed help. Like it had like water leaks here and there and whatnot. And he's like, "There's no way." Then he just flipped out. He's like, "I have to go with you whenever you go." And he's like, "When are you going?" And I said, "Possibly on Wednesday, which is today." And I said, "Possibly on Wednesday because I got to see my schedule." After I called him, I called my grandma. I said, "Grandma, do you even know that that's the place that Paku originally came from?" Hello, hello, welcome in. And then, hold on, let me clear my throat. Me being sick is so annoying. But and then she's like, "There's no way." And I said, "How did you find this place?" And all she did was just search on the internet, which yesterday I searched on the internet too. I put cremation place in Houston. I put cremation, low cost cremation. Like I put all the above. I did not see this place whatsoever. It did not even shine a light to it. So she said that was the first thing that popped up was this company. And then she called them, and then that's when that happened. And I said, "This is just, it's weird how life works. Like it really is." Hello, hello, welcome in. And I got so excited, and I was so peace. Like it was in my head the entire time. Like the whole going, everything. And I saw that I was off on Wednesday, which is today, and I told my cousin, I said, "You are gonna go with us?" He says, "Yes." I'm so excited. My grandma calls me and she's all like, "He's so excited for it to go." He's so excited. He's so excited. He wants to go. He wants to see if he can get hired by this new owner because the new owner it took over. He's all like it would be such a miracle and such an awesome feeling to go back to that place. Hold on. I hate being sick when I'm trying to talk. It's just so annoying. And I was completely like overwhelmed in a way, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. And then I talked to Paku. He's not here, but I talked to his presence. Oddly as it sounds, and I said, "Paku, you're actually going back to the old clinic, the old building where you originally came from, where you were born. You're not born, but raised basically there." And after that, today's the day, which was today's Wednesday. Today was the day that I was gonna go ahead and go and cremate him, and I gathered his things. I'm gonna make a whole entire video, and it's gonna be chopped into a lot of pieces, but there's gonna be a whole video on that process. Not the cremation process because I don't have access to that, but the process of him leaving my apartment and him saying his last goodbyes and him coming home finally when I get his cremation ashes. And so my cousin, he couldn't make it because he was sick. He got sick too, and he overslept or something like that. And I said, "I'll wait for you because this is a very special moment." So oh my goodness, my throat is hurting. And also, like I said, by the way, I'm sick as AF. I was gonna post tomorrow, but I was like, no, I gotta get this out of my mind. I gotta say this out now. Hold on. So today, I like I said, I called my cousin to see if he's coming. He's not coming. So we were on our way there. We arrived there. There was this couple in front of us before they were about to pay. And I was in complete shock. Like I'm over here looking at the building and looking at it, like I said, life has its ways, and I'm looking at the reality. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening. Like it feels so unreal. And I put Paku in a crate. The one that's in the not the profile, the profile picture that I have set up right now, the thumbnail basically. I put him back into that little, carrier, little crate carrier, and I took him back in that crate carrier because that's how he came to me. And I went ahead and set him down right in front of the window where his cage was, which is the big cage. I set him there, took videos, took photos. Like I had my own little memory spa there. And then finally it was our turn because, like I said, the couple was in front of us. And then I said, I'm the person that you spoke to about the cremation for my bird. And then she's all like, oh, okay. I told her, and it was funny because me and my grandma were talking at the same time, like, because we had so much going on, like, oh my God, I can't believe, and please help over here, like, because my cousin really wants to get a job. He's hoping and praying to get a job there because that's his wish, that's his dream, and it's just like he had to retire early. He didn't want to retire after being a veterinarian, but he had to because his something's wrong with his knee, and apparently he's got to have surgery on his knee because it's broken. And so he's all like, I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to go back and stuff. So I'm talking with a lady and I'm telling her that the history behind this building and how Paku originally came from here. And she just gets really stoked out because it's all like it's really very interesting story, And they just barely opened up in December, I believe, and I was trying to get some intel. I do have a lot of recordings and a lot of some audio I might clip into the video I make. I have to see. So it's just weird. So after that, I told her about Paku, and I told her I said this is the crate that Paku came in, and I'm gonna let you keep this. I'm gonna donate it to y'all so y'all can keep this crate. I had my jacket. I said y'all can throw that away if y'all want. I have a little because ice pack underneath because I had to freeze them, so I wanted him to still be cold, not get warm because I don't want no smells or anything. So I gave that to them, and I gave the box to him, and I said, it was just a lot of conversation going on at once because me and my grandma were trying to conversate with the lady, and we're just so excited, and it's like, you gotta hire my cousin, you gotta hire my cousin, blah blah blah, and like it was all over the place because again, it's a moment for us. Like I said, this is Paco Cremation story. So then, after that, it's already getting dark. Look at that. Well, the sun has set it already. I'm gonna be here for like 7 more minutes because I need to have some honey and tea and a lime. But yeah, I told her how Paku was and how he looked, and I showed her the photos of how the facility, the whole building looked, and after that, I told her how I told her to tell the guy that took Paku and said, he died in this way, so his beak is fully open. I can't close it for nothing, but if that even matters, because I don't want you to be like, oh, what happened to his face? What That's how he died. He died like that. And so they were, she was telling me all this story, and then all of a sudden, the owner of the facility comes in, and we get so excited, like me and my grandma again. And it was funny too because I was just thinking about conversating with everybody, and me and my grandma talking to him like, oh, like it was literally the funniest thing because I'm trying to have a conversation with him, and then she's trying to have a conversation with him, and after that, but I started videotaping every single moment, every single thing, and I told her it would be a pleasure, to have him here. Like it's just it really is such a weird way. And then after that, the owner himself says, I did a lot with the building. You want to come see? And I was like, oh my God, yes, we get to go inside the building and look at the everything that happened. Because I still remember like the building being, different, in a way. Of course, it was like it had its own ways. And it's a long stretch of a building too. And so supposedly like I said, I will make a video on YouTube about it too, on TikTok and Instagram, and all my social medias. I will make a video of the facility, not inside because that's exclusive, but only on my YouTube channel and um, Instagram. So I find it really crazy. And the owner, he loved us to death, and he says, your cousin, he's hired. We'll work around whatever he's got because he's got a lot of experience." And I had a blow my nose. And so he was so excited. He's like, "When is he coming?" And then he says, "I'll come tomorrow," because he wanted to come today, but then he overslept. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'm hoping that my cousin, could at least have a little dream come true, because my cousin's been through so much throughout these entire years. He has struggled with his knee for like quite some time, and he never knew it was broken. He had to go see, but he's limping all the way in life, and it annoys him because he's very passionate about animals and stuff, and he wants to help animals. So yeah, guys, I can't believe it. I'm not sure when I go pick him up. It's up in the air because either because since my cousin is over there, either he can go pick him up, which will also be special because he can take a little piece of Paku on his way home, or I can go pick him up one of my day off. And because I'm not sure when my next day off is, but on Saturday I will be off. I'm not off, but I'll get off at 3, I believe, on Saturday. So who knows? It's kind of up in the air. So, oh my goodness, guys, it's just it, it's crazy how life has its ways, guys. You just never know. Like, how did I not find this place yesterday and stuff like that? Like, it's crazy. But that is Paco's cremation story. I'm not talking about, the process of cremation. I'm talking about the whole entire story, how this even happened. Um, Thank you, everybody, and their kind words for my last video. I greatly appreciate it. Love bless. You are amazing. Um, Thank you for those kind words and deflection. Thank you for joining that time. If y'all see this video after the fact, you know what to do. You can hit, comment or like, whatever. And as far as like sharing out the live, I, I'm not going to really share out to like that on YouTube, because it's a lot of things that people can get offended over. Sure, you can click on this innocent video of me talking about my bird and me passing. But at the same time, I do talk about life and reality and in general, So I just want to make that consideration. Yeah, you can share me out, but also consider that my channel is based on a whole bunch of venting out, a whole bunch of live talk, and I don't know if people were open with that live talk. I don't want to bring a different audience to me and be bashing me for talking about certain subjects, but I do give warnings too on my videos about certain subjects, so there goes that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get better. I'm gonna try to sleep. Right now. I'm gonna eat the rest of my tacos because today I had some tacos. I didn't finish it all because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finish these later because I have to go to work in the morning. So I'm gonna try to get as much sleep as possible. I slept yesterday for like about 12 hours or so. I'm knocked out. I'm still sleepy. Like, this sickness has gotten me in a chokehold. And I hate it because I want to talk, but I can't talk and my voice will go away. But I'm not sure if I'll make a live stream tomorrow. Also, be looking forward to that. I'm gonna make 3 live streams for Paku in general. So the next one will be when Paku comes home, and you can see, I also too I might make an urn for him. You know how expensive urns are. You know how I always customize urns. So I have to make something for him. And I was thinking about 3D printing something for him because I do have a 3D printer and it would be awesome if I could do so. You know, how cool would that be? And I was also thinking like a statue, something of that nature. I was looking online, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see what life will bring to us. I will look into it tomorrow because tomorrow I get off at 3 p.m. Probably like I'll probably stay until 4 because the next day I have to stay until like 11. Gets kind of complex. But anyways, let me go and before my voice just completely goes out. But yeah, so this is Paco's cremation story. Life has its ways. Thank you everybody for all the love and support. Paco has meant so much to me, and it's still I still have like a lot to vent to you about, but I can't because I'm sick and I feel like tomorrow maybe I'll vent out that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.